Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. We're doing it. Welcome back. Glad you made it. Social production. We're doing it on November 8th, 2024. Wherever you're tuning in from, welcome to me, familia, down south in the United States of America. Over here in Canada, of course. Let's start from the top. It's Canada down south in the United States. But then again, doesn't matter who's on top, who's on bottom, because we're on a globe. It's spherical. We're 69ing all day, every day. Further down south than the United States, as per usual, Mexico, South America. Over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Thailand. Over there in Bangkok. Over there in the stands. Over there in Eastern Europe. Over there in Western Europe. Antarctica. Over there in Australia again. Back in underwater, overwater, hovering. We're misty. It's Friday. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Help your boy. Help yourself. Help your family members. Avoid diabetes. Unless you want diabetes, which we have all the types. Fail to subscribe to the YouTube channel and your loved ones will get diabetes. Okay, fine. Even if you subscribe, if you like to get diabetes, we will give you diabetes. Subscribe and you'll get diabetes. All the types, the good types. Made in Western society, not with child labor and shit. Good, solid, reliable diabetes with good quality. Actual steel body diabetes. Not one of those what is it? Is it styrofoam? Is it plexiglass? What is it? Good, solid, all of it. Let's get a sip of this bad boy. It's Friday, baby. And what are you doing today? It is Friday. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Let's get started. Let's just have a little bit of fun. Lots to discuss, lots to get through, and we'll see what we can do together all over the place as per usual, of course. But let us just begin with the basics and we'll ease into it, shall we? Before we get skirting all over the place. Swallowing your food whole is the new technique of eating. It's all the rage. It's taken the internet, but also the real life by a storm. People are not chewing their food anymore. They're tired of it. They're like, that's so 2024 and that's almost behind us. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the restaurants. We're taking it to your bedroom. We're taking it to your living room. We're taking it to the kitchen, your grandma's kitchen. Wherever you're eating your food, forget chewing. That's so, it's so yesterday. Look ahead. The future is right now. Swallowing your food whole is the new way to do it. Why waste time chewing when you can swallow it whole like a snake? Ever get drumsticks and you're like, man, I gotta grab the drumsticks and take little bites. Don't do that. Just quit being stupid. Put the entire drumstick, bone and all, in your mouth. Swallow it whole. Let it go through your digestive tract. That's why people are getting soft. That's why people are getting hard as well. I'll tell you that. You need to be swallowing your food whole. Plates and cutlery and everything. Knives. I'm talking forks and spoons. Swallow it whole. You don't want to be chewing like an idiot. Like we're living in the past. The future is now. Swallow your food whole. I'm talking large quantities of just the huge meatloaf. Just swallow it whole. Turkey, I believe it's Thanksgiving down south, almost United States of America, which makes us up here in the north get a second glimpse of the Thanksgivings, but also Christmas is around. So there's going to be turkey. It's turkey again. It's turkey season once again. Swallow the entire turkey whole. Don't be puss. Don't be like, oh, what if my stomach bursts? What if I start bleeding? What if you have a fantastic time because your stomach bursts and it starts bleeding all over the place? Have you been depriving your loved ones, your family members, your friends because your stomach is too precious? You can't just let it go. It's too delicate. It's too fragile. I gotta keep my intestines intact. Lame. Swallow your the whole pasta bowl. Just open your mouthful and put it all in there. Don't chew. You're wasting time. Instead, you could be making connections. Instead, you could be looking after your baby and discussing the plans for him or her to succeed in life. Instead, you could be making beautiful relationships with strangers or acquaintances that might be just the bonds that you were looking for, but not willing to go out there and do it because you're like, I'm too busy chewing food. Quit chew and come and all too. Come and the vaginal fluids too. Do not chew, swallow whole. All right? If I can't see the outline of your food inside your body, you are, man, get with the program. It's the times of change. It's a new beginning. It's a new age. Eat your food, swallow it whole. Don't be that guy or lady in the corner. I gotta take small bites guys. I get indigestion. It's, sick of it. Sick of it. But it ends today with swallowing your food whole has become a new craze. And it's the best way to keep off weight, but also it's one of the greatest ways to gain weight should you be looking in the market to gain weight. Because if you break it down, then it goes through your system quicker, faster. But if you swallow your food whole, you just let the body do what it was meant to do, all right? Just swallow it whole. Quicker, you're like, what about the china? The china's stuck in my throat. I'm bleeding from my jugular. That's part of it. You will get stronger jugular cords. That's scientifically proven. Do it today. Don't waste your time chewing. Go out there and get it. Eat your food, swallow it whole. Don't forget. All right? Everybody's doing it. It's the greatest thing. It'll help you make, all sorts of improvements in your life. Better sales at the office. Better mergers, better deals. How many times did you have to hang up the phone because you were eating a bagel? Oh, I got this cream cheese and salmon bagel. It's an all-you-can-eat bagel fest in my office. But guess what? You're losing out on opportunities. So quit it with the chewing. Just swallow it whole. Put it in right now. Right now. Stop it. You're like, but I've been told to chew throughout my life from cradle to grave. They told us to chew. Maybe that's what they wanted you to do, fam. Maybe that's what they wanted you to do. Would you go ahead and take a stand? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. And I was just thinking, something is kind of messed up. Something is I feel like it's redundant. I feel like it's like, what are we doing here? And I'll get to it. Ever wonder, ever have a moment to yourself where you're eating greasy food and your fingers get greasy? Yeah, I'm talking chicken wings. I'm talking delicious burgers, 8-ounce, 10-ounce, 12-ounce burgers, 15-ounce steak, just half a lamb, half a cow, a quarter of a cow, and your hands get greasy. Oh, that's so frustrating. And then what do you do after? What do you do after you get that greasy fingers? Get them greasy fingers. What do you do? You go and use soap. You go and use soap to wash it off. And what is that? And then you realize, oh, soap is mostly made of grease and fat. What is this? How does that work? You ask yourself, and then you're like, why don't we get rid of other stuff using the same stuff? Like should you ever get blood on your shirt or your hands because you're doing surgery, why not then wash it off with more blood? Why not do that then? If you should get, I've got mud on my shirt because I got mud on my cleats. I got mud on my because I just did practice. I'm a varsity athlete. I'm in the college. I'm in the college doing college university sportsmanship activities, and I got mud all over my uniform. What am I gonna wash it with? Wash it with mud. It doesn't make sense, but what else could we be? I've been typing on my keyboard. I got keyboards on my fingers. What am I gonna do? Remove the keyboards from your fingers using keyboards. It's the same logic. If it makes sense with grease and soap, then it should apply to everything else as well. The sun is beaming in my eyes. The sun is reflect the sunshine with reflect it back with, instead of wearing glasses or relying on SPF. Start oozing sun rays out of your eyeballs. Let fight sunlight with sunlight. Don't go out there like, I gotta get something to reflect it back. None of that shit. So if grease is gotten rid of by using grease, I'm assuming. So I don't get then, why do mechanics at the end of the day, when they're finished their work and they get all greasy, why do they go home and shower using more grease? Why don't they just apply more grease at work? If anything, you get grease on your fingers because you've been working that wrench, the nuts and the bolts, removing engines, putting it back together, sweating. There should be a guy that's just like ready to just lather you with more grease and sweat as you finish the day's work and are about to head home. That should be, because I don't get soap, so it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm seeing the logic, and I think it's just, again, using whatever's causing the issue. Use the same thing to get rid of it, or it'll always come back. It'll always come back. It's like herpes. It always comes back. But yeah, grease doesn't make sense to me. Soaps don't make sense to me. But if we've agreed on it collectively and you're happy with it, I'll let it be. But in the meantime, again, if you are bleeding from the vaginas and you're like, oh, how do I get, I've been fighting with tampons and Tampax and putting stuff up my vag. You shouldn't. You should probably get a series of mini paper cuts and bleed all over it, hence to cover the bleeding from your vagina. There you go. That's fighting blood with blood. Using the methods of soap and grease to remove grease with more grease. Using animal fats to remove more animal fats. Which begs the question, shouldn't we just be eating soap then? Shouldn't we just, because soap is clean animal fat essentially, why not just skip the whole, if you're like a neat freak, if you gotta like maintain, if you're like a little bit OCD, and I know that term does get taught, but if you're like for reals OCD, why don't you just eat soap then? Isn't that the best animal, for the cleanest animal fat? And you've seen some cultures, they only eat animal fat because food is scarce, like the Alaskans in their igloos. They'll do that. They'll just get like, oh, I'm gonna get this baby whale and just, suck off a little bit of lard and fat. You don't see them washing their hands. Guess what? They probably know something that you and I don't. So there you go. I think we just solved the whole food/soap problem. Forget food. Soap is the new food. I think that's what we just figured out together. Great. No more spending money on dumb food. I'll just snort bottles of liquid soap so I get the nutrients and I'm fucking clean like a Irish Spring. Hell yeah. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, dun 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 dun. There's a new and exciting game that's taken the world and just turning it upside down, and everybody wants to play it. What is it? It's called Blacklight Jizz Room. That's what that is. You get 5 rooms. You're presented with 5 rooms. You and a collective, or maybe even individually, you and a group of friends, or maybe again individually, you and your lover, or maybe again you and your cat show up, and you're presented with maybe 5 rooms, 5, 6, 7 rooms, a series of rooms, and all these rooms have been covered from the bottom to the top. Every inch of this room, as not this room, but like the other rooms for the game, they've been covered in jizz all over. I'm talking the plates that you're going to be eating off of. I'm talking the fridge, the door handles covered in jizz, the bathroom, everything is covered in jizz. Your bed covered in jizz, the lights covered in jizz, your TV, the remote for the TV, jizz, your Alexa, it's hands-free, covered in jizz nonetheless. But you will not know. You'll be presented again with 5, 6, 7 rooms, and you're going to be spending maybe 2-3 days in there, just living in that room. Again, by yourself or with a loved one or maybe a group of people. Your task is to compete against other individuals or other groups and figure out just by sight, which room is not covered in jizz out of the 5 or 6 rooms. It's called Blacklight Jizz Room. At the end of your stay, all the lights will be going from regular lights and they'll turn into black lights, and you will see which room was covered from bottom to top in full-blown jizz. And you'll watch yourself in slow motion on tape, eating off of plates covered in jizz. Taking out the food out of the fridge, and you're like, oh, this is just regular butter. I'm just gonna make an omelet. Omelet anyone? And you'll notice there's black light on the butter and it's covered with jizz. Your eggs, you're cracking it. Jizz inside the eggs. How do we get jizz inside the eggs? Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. Don't ask, don't tell. Jizz eggs. Oh, I'm gonna make pasta. Anybody want a little bit of shrimp scampi? Anybody? Yes. Everybody high five. 2-3 days after, black lights go on. Oh, jizz covered pasta. You lose. You're eliminated. But the one couple or one person or one group that does advance and go to the next stage will be facing other opponents given the same set of circumstances. And we continue this for maybe about 5-6 weeks and see who stays and who leaves, Who knew that the room was covered all from bottom to top in jizz? Everything. You even take a shower. You think it's water? It's jizz. Soap. I'm gonna wash my hands with soap. Jizz. I'm gonna get a drink of water from the tap. Jizz. And you'll only know once the black lights are turned on. Again, it's called Blacklight Jizz Room. The most exciting game since fucking the floor is lava. Blacklight Jizz Room. Is it a regular room or is it Blacklight Jizz Room? Blacklight Jizz Room. Is it a reg room or is it filled with jizz? Blacklight Jizz Room. Everybody's gonna be talking about it at the office. Did you see the last episode of Blacklight Jizz Room? I can't believe that lady ate that cat and it was covered with jizz. Who would have thought it would have? Oh, it looked like a regular cat and she ate it. But guess what? The cat was covered in jizz too. Oh man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be exhilarating. I think it's gonna be top 10 favorite game shows of all time. Blacklight Jizz Room. Blacklight Jizz Room. Will you guess which room isn't covered in jizz? And you're like, what if I get there and get a whiff of the room? You can't. You'll only be shown images of the rooms and you're supposed to just have a peek and be like, is that room covered in jizz? I don't know. Only time will tell. Only Blacklight Jizz Room will be revealed once the black light is turned on. Blacklight Jizz Room. Ripping apart families who can't keep it together because they just ingested a whole lot of jizz. Blacklight Jizz Room. Prize money, 500,000. 500,000. Tax free. Fucking big bucks. Big bucks. Big prizes. Blacklight Jizz Room. Bring in the big bucks. To blue collar workers, Blacklight Jizz Room. Everybody's next favorite show, Blacklight Jizz Room. Tired of ringtones? Me too. Tired of ringtones? Yes. Oh, I have to keep turning my phone on vibrate and on silent. And then I enter another room where I gotta I'm busy doing things, so I'll have to switch it back over on high volume so I remember when it rings, I hear, so I don't miss important phone calls from loved ones, from friends, family members, business associates. Tired of it? Me too. That's why I like to introduce the alternative to the ringtone. Every time your phone rings, what if I told you don't have to rely on vibration on your thigh or on your crotch? Or a little cool ringtone that you set up for your ringtone. Forget about that. What if I said you could just, go into any room, have your phone ring, and instead of your phone actually ring, you start bleeding from the ear. You start immediately bleeding from the ear, and maybe bleeding from the nostril, but blooding from the nostrils. You're bleeding from the nostrils. You're like, excuse me, I gotta take this. And everybody will know. Nobody will be like, what is it? Because you'll say, what is it? You'll see that. Was it they'll know exactly what it is. Every time you start bleeding from your ear, they'll know that you got a phone call, man. You're an important person with many people that are calling you all day, every day. Bills, business plans that are about to go out, dates that are about to be set, a meeting with friends at the local park for friend activities and such. But yes, ringtones are lame. Everybody's over it. I'm thinking we just switch it over. We just, somehow make a mechanism in the phone so every time it does ring, high pitch frequency goes up. You bleed a little bit. Because you've been in situations where you've been fully embarrassed, looking like a jackass. You go to the movies, everybody's got their phone turned off or it's on silent. But halfway through, 20 minutes in the movie, it's nail-biting, action, thrilling, fucking fantastic, comedy, drama / thriller. Everybody's into it, ring, and you look like a jackass, and everybody's ostracizing you. You're kicked out of the crowd, and you're sent out to take a phone call, like a feral animal, and nobody likes you after, which sucks. And then you have to come and redeem yourself by maybe breaking a few phones, by saying, oh, I'm so anti-phone, I don't even like ringtones. Other people's phones start ringing, you start breaking them. Just to be like, oh, I hate phones and I hate ringtones. You don't have to go through that. Start bleeding from the ear instantly and know that you're getting a phone call. How easy is it? It's 2025, baby, almost. Let's do it together. Let's just, my wife is gonna give birth in the emergency birthing room of the east-west wing of the hospital, and it says no phones, no ringtones allowed in the birthing canal. It says that, and then you're in there first time husband about to be supportive and shit for your wife, and next thing you know your phone rings. Is nobody, you haven't told everybody, maybe some other friends that you haven't kept in touch with, and so they're giving you a call, and next thing you know your wife's just like choking you by the collar. He's like, focus Gary, I'm giving birth. No, you have to go and rely on a ringtone. You forgot to put it on silent. Oh, you look like a fool. Your wife's probably gonna be upset at you. Guess what? That baby is probably gonna grow up to be one of those like school shooter babies. Do you want a school shooter baby? Then get a regular ringtone then, or get with the times and start bleeding a little bit from your ear, so that your wife is, she's, it's contraction time. Oh, her vagina's bloated. It's fucking pumping. It doesn't even look like a vag anymore. She's ready to go. You could be a hero now. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, sweetheart, you're bleeding from your ear. I think you're getting a phone call. And you'll say, you know what? I'll take it later. Just wipe it off and just wipe the blood on her and high five each other and give birth like normal people, okay? How many times must you be sitting in a meeting, an important meeting, and they told you many times, you've been there, the office culture. They don't like fucking ringtones in the important meetings, especially at the end of the month where you gotta go over the numbers. And there you go, like an idiot. Once again, your phone rings. Your boss is gonna fucking fire you. When are you gonna get it? Your boss is gonna fire you. Get with the program. Start switching over to bleeding from the nose and bleeding from the ear instead of lame, repetitive ringtones. So there you go. Solving problems all over the world. Black light jizz room. Are you covered in jizz, or was it just a regular room? It's probably covered in jizz. The reigning champ, they'll say that. You've heard of this term, the reigning champ. Oh, such and such is the reigning champ of whatever the fuck. Ooh, the turkey tossing reigning champ of turkey tossing. You've seen him toss them turkeys, toss the salads and turkeys. He's the reigning champ. But then if it's called the reigning champ, then why aren't these people capable of actually making it rain then? Riddle me that shit. Why do we call them reigning champs? Why do we call him reigning champion of... You've never seen... Oh, the reigning champion of boxing. He's a reigning champion of boxing. All he does is box. I've never seen this fella or lady actually make it rain. I've never seen these people make it rain. I've never seen them be even show a little bit of interest in rain. You'll see, they'll make videos. You see that now. He's a reigning champion of the UFC. Well, how come he never runs in rain then? How come you've seen them run in relatively dry circumstances up and down a hill for the video vlogs that they do maybe for the pre-UFC, and they're like, reigning champ, continue reigning champ. And guys just like running outside and it's like sunny skies all around. What are you talking about? Stop it. You're fooling yourself. You're not fooling anybody, reigning champ. This guy doesn't even dabble in precipitation. Fuck that shit. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Reigning champ? You don't even carry around an umbrella? What? Reigning champ, and you're not even gonna spit a little bit? You're not even gonna spit a little bit, but like suck it back up like you did when you were like a child? When you remember when you did that, you kind of like slow-mo spat. You didn't fully spit, but like you let the spit come out of your mouth and go as low as you can to the ground and try to suck it back up, which retrospectively looking back was, no judgment. We've all done things and it's fine. But when was the last time you did that, reigning champ? When was the last time you went ahead and actually maybe squeezed a couple of clouds and just get a little bit of cloud juice, aka rain out of a car? When was that? When was it? Be honest. Reigning champ, eh? Okay. And I'm not saying you gotta I get it. Making it rain is actually very difficult, but there are methods you can make fake rain. People have fake rain in studios. Get that same, equipment. If you're gonna be the reigning champ, make fake rain at least. Make rain using, high-tech film industry equipment that makes it seem as if it's raining, and then be like, oh, okay, all right, fine, that lady is the reigning champ. He's wet. You're like, I don't have that much money. I can't get full-blown Hollywood equipment that makes it seem as if it's raining, even though I'm a reigning champ. You'll go ahead and call yourself the reigning, but I will, hey, get a glass of water. At least every once in just toss a little bit of water. Get a bottle of water, bottled water. You can get bottled water and just like toss it at people. Just like open the cap and just sprinkle a little bit. You can't sprinkle a little bit of water. Reigning champ. Get them hose. Get a garden hose. Fucking sprinkle a little bit of water on people. At least if you're gonna be the reigning champ, Pop open a lid on a fire hydrant, Mr. or Mrs. Reigning Champ. If you're so into water and wetness, yet you've never actually shown us if you're capable of even being within the vicinity of some moisture, you quit fooling yourself. Quit playing yourself, man. But that's just brotherly love. That's just, I'm not here to give advice or anything on anything. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be calling yourself the reigning champ, get ready to get wet. Get ready to get moist. Get ready to, fucking puddles. I'm talking, yeah. 2 inch worth puddles, babe. 2 inch of puddles. Just stomping in puddles. I've never even seen you stomp in a puddle. Reigning champ, my ass. Ladies and gents, I'll say this, when is it okay to toss a baby? When is it okay to throw a baby? It's one of those circumstances where like, I don't get, society looks down upon people who throw babies, but there are circumstances where you could throw a baby and it would be completely okay. And let's try to come up with some circumstances together. For instance, if you're like, oh, I can't toss a baby, I'll get canceled if I toss a baby. Unless you happen to be, let's say, in a ship, middle of the ocean, it starts to sink for whatever odd reason. I don't know why, but the ship is maybe perhaps sinking and everybody's about to drown. And let's say there's a tiny floating device out there. Maybe there's a couple of fellas who are fishing in a very tiny boat, and they have only room for one more, and you are far away from them, and it's not a motorboat, so it's not like they have enough time to quickly rev their engine and get to you so you can hand over the baby. In that situation, once as soon as the ship is sinking, you're all sinking. You're already neck deep in the water. Chuck the baby. Chuck your baby. Now, maybe it's not even your baby. Maybe the parents of the baby died already. You don't even know this baby, and you're gonna die. So at least chuck the baby to safety, so that those two gentlemen in the little raft, in the makeshift raft, could save your baby or whoever's baby it is. In that circumstance, you'll be viewed and maybe celebrated, and afterwards you won't find it. You won't know because you're gonna drown. But at least you chuck the baby, and that's completely okay. And they'll be like, baby chucker saves today. Baby tosser saves today. Another baby saved due to tossing. Another baby thrown to safety. Chuck a baby, save a life. They'll say that. Other circumstances where you can throw a baby. Let's say the house is on fire. The house is on fire, but it sucks. Maybe it's a large build. Maybe it's a building. Maybe it's a condo. And guess what? Everybody's like, oh man, we got to take the stairs. Guess what? The stairs are set on fire. Oh, let's take the elevator. Wrong. They tell you never take the elevator yet. It's already on fire too. All the rooms inside the condo on fire. You're on the, 14th floor, whatevs, which is really the 13th floor. Let's not kid ourselves. And the next thing you know, you pop open a window and there's smoke coming out, flames, just like flames. Oh, skin burn. You see a baby in the corner, just helpless baby. and you look out below. They've set up one of those blow up, tent thingies so that you can fall on it. But you're like, oh, it can only take, but there's only enough time to save one life. Do I save my own life or the baby's life? And the baby doesn't know how to jump. And you're like, I could jump and save my own life, but I'm gonna be a hero. Guess what? You can chuck the baby out the window, right into the tent, and the X marks the spot. Baby bounces up, they catch the baby saved once again, saving babies by throwing babies. There's another instance where you can chuck a baby. Let's say, for example, that you are in a, the circumstances are dire. You're in a high-speed car chase involving heavy-duty artillery and criminals of the highest degree, high-degree criminals, bad guys, real bad. They're shooting at you with, really cray machine guns, just all over the place. Guess what? You have a baby, and to save the baby, you must now chuck the baby out the window into a little bush, into a little soft bush, or maybe there's a little river nearby. You can just gently, but nonetheless, chuck the baby into the body of water, let the river stream take the baby to safety, and let that baby be maybe adopted by a husband and wife, maybe a farming family, maybe a shepherd and his wife. They'll find the baby. Chucking babies to save babies once again. When else could you chuck a baby and it's completely fine? You could totally, if you're like, man, I gotta, it's a minefield, but instead of mines, it's like covered with like trampolines, and you got to get across this field with trampolines on it, and there's only, and in that instance, you could just carry the baby and just hop from one trampoline to the next, which doesn't really require to chuck the baby, but chuck the baby on the trampoline, watch the baby chuck itself up in the air, and that's completely all right because there's trampolines involved. There you go, ladies and gents. Different ways of chucking babies. I'll say this, there's been something that's been going on. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know the reason, and I don't even know where we're gonna go with it, but let's see where it does lead us. I did recently hear, I read actually, that Ryanair was taking a flight 765321. I actually don't know the flight number, that's a made up number, but a flight from Ryanair was flying on November 4th, 2024 recently, and a passenger was acting a little bit rowdy and being disruptive. And at one point, the passenger got up and pissed in the aisle. Pissing passenger, flyby pissing passengers. Passengers who piss whilst flying. Piss passengers. It's the future of flying. Piss passengers. That's the new thing that's happening. People are becoming a little bit disruptive on airplanes. We've seen it happen over the past few years. I think, again, I don't know it's because of, if it's because of the advent of technology and, access to cameras. I don't know if that sort of behavior was going on before as well. Maybe we just didn't get to see it, but maybe we were a little bit more chill on the flights too. That could be something. But I did read in the article, it said that due to, over the summer, apparently there have been a lot of delays and people have a little bit extra time on their hands. So they spend a little bit more time just getting a little bit more loose at the old airport. Get loose and, they get on the planes and they start pissing in the aisle, and they're just like, oh. So different ways to deal with this. Sure, one easy way is to look at the person who's pissing in the aisle and say, don't do that. That's, no bueno, no pissing out. You could be that guy or gal. Oh, the no piss policy for me. Would you like your flight to be piss filled or piss free? Oh, sign me up for piss free. Guess you don't want to be experiencing a good time. You could be that guy or that gal, piss free flyer. Other ways you could deal with this is, of course, you could get behind the pissing. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Certain things I believe should just be for adults only. Like flights should be one of those things. I don't believe children should be on board of any airplane until they're 18 years and older, we'll just get adults on. And that way, if it's just adults, maybe perhaps we wouldn't mind if there was a little bit of piss in the aisle, but that's just me. Leave a comment. And how were they being disruptive? Is it because the piss landed in the aisle, or is it because some people are just jelly because they didn't get any piss on them, because deep down inside, like deep down inside, deep rooted secret, and they wanted to be pissed on. They wanted to drink piss while they're flying, and they didn't get them. There's like, oh, I'm so mad. They said that inside their head whilst everybody else was crossing their arms and just like huffing and puffing, and you too had to cross your arms and pretend that you're not a fan of this piss flyer over here. Yeah, I can't believe that guy pissed on the aisle. What a so disruptive. Deep down inside, thinking, man, I wish she, I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Don't assume sex, gender, and we won't. I don't know if it was a male or a female. I don't remember reading that part. But yeah, deep down inside, you're like, I wish they were just pissing in my mouth. You'd say that, but you can't say that, or you can. You can totally say that. You can totally say that, but you didn't. Guess what? Maybe next time you didn't this time. Maybe next time you will speak your mind, so there's no wasted piss. So I think it's a matter of perspective. Maybe there should be a piss. Hey, I'll say this, airplanes, they do need an update. Maybe we need a little bit. We did get rid of the smoking section in airplanes. Maybe create a pissing section of the airplane. Do we really need to go to a personal tiny bathroom? What if there was a section in the airplane where it was just adults only, and you could do number one, everybody, just pants off, number ones, all around, free beverages, and let it loose. Why must why should I buckle up and then wait for the sign to tell me I could take my seatbelt off, as if, flying 1,000 miles an hour at altitudes of roughly 34,100 feet in the sky in a tin can is gonna, and it should, God forbid, anything go wrong, as if a little teeny tiny seatbelt is gonna save you. I chuckle and laugh at that. So yes, pissing in the aisle is a thing. It's becoming more, you've seen people just become a little, maybe we could reel it back and just be, hey, why don't we all just chill on the plane? But also maybe we could just get a shift in perspective and say, you know what? Maybe it's the way I've been looking at this scenario. Maybe this fellow or lady who's pissing in it was secretly trying to get everybody else to maybe piss as well. So instead of complaining and being a total downer and say, hey, flight attendant lady, come take a look at this fella pissing or lady pissing, why don't you grab a cup, all right? Fill it up and drink it and start pissing as well. Should we stop there, or should we continue? What about fecal matter? I'm gonna say no to the fecal matter. Piss, I'm okay with. Fecal matter, I'm gonna say no. Let's stop there. But yeah, I don't see why we can't just kick children off flights forever until they're grown up, and then have adults only flights where people are free citizens pissing midair. Nothing says like you're living a luxury lifestyle unless you're pissing midair, and then that just screams luxury. So quit whining about it. Quit saying, oh, I can't handle a little bit of piss on my lap. I don't know. At the same rate, I could definitely see the other side, but I refuse to, just because like it's, everybody sees the other side. But pissing on planes, it just needs to be marketed properly. You know what I mean? Going on a 7-day vacation to wherever tropical, piss on your way to wherever that's tropical, instead of waiting to go to the bathroom at your local destination. Piss on the plane. Because no other, it's not like that could be. And if you're spearheading this, if you make piss a part of your campaign, your airlines, your flight, your airplane company could do really well, because no other ones are, claiming this. And if you could be the first one to get on top of it, put a positive spin on it. Look how much fun our passengers are having. It's just like slow-mo videos of people pissing, catching. Maybe the pilot low-key just like turns off the engine a little bit, you free fall a little bit, so you go like zero gravity for a second. Then there's like piss mid-air just hanging right there in your eyesight. Clip that, sell it, zero gravity piss flights for you and your loved ones. Piss flights, zero gravity. And the pilot comes down and just like high fives you, takes a sip of the floating piss, goes back to the cockpit, turns the engine back on, revs it, and right there you're flying to your destination with piss flights. I could totally see people getting behind this. It's gonna sell like cupcakes. Ladies and gents, there is a concern that's impacting all of us globally, I think, and I'm gonna try my very best right now to nip it in the bud and come up with a solution. I have been reading, and it's been something that's been going on for several years now. It's being, there's a uptick on, I don't know if it's true or not, to be honest with you, so I'm not gonna say it as if it is or it isn't. I will just maybe pose it as a question. And I will ask you this: are we purchasing less babies and instead purchasing more pets? Because I've read that millennials and younger generations that are going to be growing up and becoming eventually full-blown adults very soon, if they already aren't, some of them probably are, the later like Gen Z, old Gen Zs are soon probably, 25 years, I don't know the age category, I don't know, they're going to be adults soon enough. If they're already not, they are, some of them are, probably, doesn't matter. Millennials and younger generations are purchasing less babies and instead investing in pets. Sales in babies have dropped, baby sales have dropped, and instead we've seen an increase in pet sales. People are replacing babies with pets. And I ask you why are there less babies being purchased if that is the case? Are people buying less babies? Let me ask you this, leave a comment. When was the last time you bought a baby? When was the last time you bought a baby? Ask yourself, if you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I did or I didn't. When was the last time you purchased a baby? Now, when was the last time you purchased a pet? When was the last time? And that or an animal. It doesn't, maybe you ate you're like, oh, I just had Canadian geese, or I don't think you can eat those. I just had turkey. Yum yum. I just had a turkey, kept it for a couple of days, then pretending I was its friend, then killed it, low key, fucking just cracked that neck. Pet turned food. Maybe that was kind of whatevs. It doesn't matter. When was the last time you purchased a baby? Apparently people are buying less babies, and I'm just curious as to why that's happening. Is it because what even is a baby? A baby, how are babies created? Babies are created when a man and a woman get together and they 69. That's how babies are. They 60, not necessarily through that movement. Maybe babies are born when a man and a woman love each other. Sometimes it helps, probably, I think. I don't know, to be honest with you, but when a man and a woman do the sex without the condoms, babies are made. But before all that, you gotta let's unpack this together. How to even get to the point of, because that's apparently, so there's something going on. There's many of things going on. One of it is, before buying a baby, maybe you need to ask yourself, are people buying other people as much? Are people buying less relationships? When was the last time you bought yourself a girlfriend? When was the last time you bought yourself a boyfriend? When was the last time you bought yourself a relationship? Ask yourself that. And then when was the last time you bought yourself a pet? Are you spending are pets replacing them? Are you spending more money on pets than you are on relationships? Why? Why are you spending more money on pets than you are on relationships and people? Why can't you go buy a human instead of buying a pet? Like a normal person, buy a boyfriend, buy a fiance, work your way up, start off. You're like, I gotta get a down payment for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Times are whatever. Times have always been whatever. So why are people buying less boyfriend, girlfriend / fiance turned into a marriage couple things? Maybe, I do go outside, of course, like many of you. I don't see many stores that are selling relationships or people, which will lead to eventually babies. Maybe you should just have separate stores that just sell babies if you want. If we're skipping, because it seems like people are investing less in relationships. Maybe, I don't know this, to be honest. I can only speak from my own experience and what I see in and around the, kind of like, you get on the streets, you see things, you read things, you live a personal life. My own personal life, man, man, let's not open that box up. Beautiful walls, protecting feelings. Beautiful walls you'll never get through. Emotional barriers, build those walls high. I've been doing that as of late in the past few years, just evolving, learning, growing. One day I'll get a wrecking ball and I'll wreck the wall, but more and more so I find that it's time to focus on you and your career, and so that one day I could go buy the wife that I want. And perhaps some of you might think that way too. Perhaps you're like, one day I will get to the point where I can buy a husband that I like, or a boyfriend, or let's start small, maybe like save a down payment for a wife, husband. Like we should have, this begs the question, should we be looking at relationships a little bit differently, more or less the same, but like the times change, things change, we become so globalized, and people are, we're aging a little bit more, we're getting to live a little bit longer, we're experiencing more. At the same rate, we've become somewhat of a global community. We are still local, but it used to be keep up with the Joneses locally. And now with the advent of, again, technology, but there's so many pros and cons. One of them is that, people see things all across the globe and they start, whereas you could have just like settled down with whoever, but now you're like, oh, I want that. I want to buy a wife that comes with a boat. I want a boat wife. Or you're like, I want a tiger husband. I want to buy a tiger and a husband. So you're like saving up for your tiger husband. Or you're like, I want to buy a husband with like fake abs. I want a fake abs husband. Or I want a husband that doesn't age. I want a husband that maybe ages, but like as he ages, his bank account gets bigger and bigger. As his ability to create erections slowly fades, his bank account grows larger and larger. So people do different. It's different is all I'm trying to say. Times have changed, but people are doing less of apparently, allegedly. I don't know. Me personally, no, I'm not in the market to buy a baby anytime soon at all, if ever. I've never been that type of guy. Over the years, I have opened, like if you caught me in my teenage years or even early 20s, I would have said, baby, chuck it. Now I could kind of like, I could see how it's nice. It is kind of like for people, but like, again, for me, far, far away. And if it doesn't ever happen, no harm, no foul. It's quite cool with me. I'm not one of those people that's like, I really don't care. At this point anyway, I don't know. I might get up to the ripe old age of 97 and be like, oh, I should have nutted in a vag without using a condom. Who knows? Or maybe I'll be like high-fiving myself with my multiple robotic arms and my robot friends. I'll be like, oh, good decision. You didn't have to, Or maybe I'll just who knows? Technology is going to evolve. We're evolving. People are buying less babies. That's the point. It is having an impact on population. We do need to keep that going in order for everything we do need. But then again, there's going to be robots, so I'm not too concerned about it. Does beg the question, are babies to be purchased only by because it costs a lot to purchase a baby. Like I believe a baby costs like $3 million from the math that I've done in my head, of course. Just to raise them from 0 to 18, you're looking at roughly $3 million to give them a chance at so, but that's just me and my math, and I wasn't even good at math. So $3 million babies, people come up with excuses. They'll say that, or not even excuses, they'll say it's a lot of responsibility, but all those words and it's a lot of time and all that is to say, it's hard to purchase babies. That's just that I think there's been because maybe it used to be like an asset that was maybe, something you invested in as a family to, build, grow, all that stuff. But maybe as of late, it's become a depreciating asset instead of something that goes up in value. So maybe we could do something positive to enhance the sale of babies. And there's a lot of things too that are happening societally. Like you'll read things that's happening maybe on the internet, but it's also happening in real life in some places. I do hear certain notions that I don't think they're quite, I think maybe they stem from something originally positive, but then everything does get co-opted by, just bad, things. I'll say here, these are the two things that I've read that might kind of coincide with this little notion of less purchase of babies. No Nut November, I've heard of this thing. It's a No Nut November. I don't know if actually people practice it, or the no fap thing. People don't masturbate, or they want to go like celibate or whatever. I don't know. No judgment. Those are mostly, I think, aimed towards dudes and fellers. And then I did recently hear of this other movement that's, I believe, coming out of Korea. It's called the 4B movement. The 4B movement. I don't know if that's like femmes, that's like females saying, we're not gonna have sex we're not gonna have heterosexual sex for some time. We're gonna lay off it. It's not a large thing, but these things, you hear about it in the outskirts and the fringes, and the next thing you know, it turns into something, and then all this. I don't see this as a positive thing. I don't even know the origin that clearly. I believe the 4B movement started off because apparently in Korea, I'm not sure, I think dudes were going into ladies' public bathrooms, installing hidden cams in the ladies' toilets, watching them piss and whatnot, and then selling those videos without those ladies' consents. So that, and then as a result, these ladies were kind of like, it goes into the realm of like, I guess, revenge porn and like, again, consent and all that stuff. So as a result of that, it's kind of like a backlash. And again, every society, every culture is different. I haven't been to Korea. I'm not Korean. I am a full-blown black, half Jamaican, half Japanese person myself. But I don't know what goes on in, but it's important to take these things, because you hear this idea and it might have some relevance locally, but maybe it's not the best idea to just like bring everything over and like be like, yes, this needs to be a part of, I don't know, maybe like, the continuation of the feminist movement, and like all of a sudden you hear people in Western society maybe adopting these ideas, both men and women, No Nut November, simultaneously going, maybe we should lay off the heterosexual activities. All these things, probably not good. Regular interactions between the sexes are good. I believe that. I truly believe that. And I think, but then at the same rate, because that's the thing, if you're like 24 and like you're laying off sex and you're not, and again, I not want to, because like my personal experiences, my own life path is different, like many other people's out there. But I don't even know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, yeah, I saw that and I'm like, no, not November here. You hear about it. I don't know if anybody's practicing it. Of course, there probably are some people. And then you hear the 4B movement and then others. It's just like, I don't think these quote unquote battle of the sexes help. I think we need to bring the sexes together, sex more. And for those individuals who are actually like, who want them and like have the babies, if you're thinking about it, have a baby. If you're not thinking about it, because populations may go down and we might all die, have a baby. Like not today, like we're not gonna all die today, but you should probably have a baby. You should probably have some babies. Take a risk. You don't need $3 million to have a baby. Forget about it. Who cares if you can't afford it? Buy a baby anyway. Buy as many babies as possible, because they say certain things, like they'll say, I've heard this thing, they say babies bring money. That's different. With baby comes money. With a baby, they'll come money. And a lot of times, no, because babies, I've seen a lot of babies that come with no money. Negative money. The babies will come in debt. The baby had previous gambling debts to loan sharks. He or she is trying to pay it off, and now it becomes the parents' gambling debts. So Many different things are of course happening, but I just wanted to say we need a positive spin on selling babies as opposed to pets, because sure, it's nice to get a pet cat or a dog, that's fine and dandy, but it shouldn't be a replacement, in my opinion, of course, for a baby. But that's just my opinion, and I have many opinions, and they say opinions are like queefs, and everybody can queef, and I do frequently. So to you know, buy a baby, because babies are we need a new spin on selling babies. Babies are cool, babies are hip, babies are fast. Get faster babies. Babies with spoilers and rims. Babies with rims. Selling diamond bejeweled, bedazzled babies. Selling shinier babies. Babies of the 2025 babies, the ones that are shiny. The ones that you could show off to your family and friends, and make them go blind by the sight of the bedazzled and bejeweled, baby. Oh, that baby's so bright. Holy shit, that's a 2025 baby. So the thing is, everything gets an update. Phones, TVs, computers, but babies don't. They've not had an update in a long time. So I could see why people are like, you know what? I'll get this mixed Chihuahua, half pit bull. I'll get that and snuggle with it. Or because that's the thing too. You might put it off, and then for the average person, it's probably best. You don't want to, like, if for the average person, I'm not saying, again, this is coming from a person who doesn't, who's not even made I've not even made it clear that I even want to, put a down payment on a girlfriend. So I'm far away from, like, I'm just talking, like, from what's going on like a bigger thing, on a bigger scale. Yeah, because societies, they do say that the populations are going down, and there's a lot of elderly people that are going to be dying off, and there's not going to be any general, like Korea, Japan, United States, America, Canada. People need to be buying more babies. Maybe babies need to go on sale. I'll say that, because I don't want to buy a $3 million baby personally. I don't want to. And literally I walk outside coffee shops, tech support shops, shops that sell, lingerie, shops that sell, the Lululemon, nice Lululemon yoga pants, so that you could look at a woman and say, my God, that ass walks. You'll say that. But you won't walk down the store where there's a store and it sells babies. And guess what? That ass may walk, but there's no baby stores, so you can't. And if there are, they're like overly priced. Maybe we should put an incentive to buy babies. Maybe there should be like, hey, have a baby, get $3 million. I'm just tossing out ideas. These are not, of course, set in stone. Maybe it should be like, have a baby and get a down payment on a house if you have a baby. Get a down payment on 2 houses if you have 2 babies. Get a down payment on a house and a baby and a boat if you get a boat and a baby and a Jaguar. Get a fast car and get a baby and get a fast car with it. Get a tricycle and get like half a baby. Buy 1 cup of coffee and get a baby. I'm just saying, it should just be more, there should be something to it. Because you can't just be like, why aren't you buying this product? It hasn't been updated and it's been going down in value. What's the value? You're like, it's human. I don't know. All I'm saying is, babies need to come out faster, maybe different, maybe a different pattern. I have not seen the babies change since the 80s, maybe, I don't know. So, but we can definitely make buying babies cool again, so that people do, so that like society doesn't collapse. And yes, the robots are right there the robots are making it very difficult to be like, why do I need a baby? Why does anybody need a baby if you're just gonna like hand off tasks, rely on them for services? They make great listeners, they look after you, they're supportive. Eventually we'll probably merge with the robots, and so we'll have robot babies. I don't know, but eventually that's down the line. For the time being, so that society doesn't collapse, I need you to get out there and purchase babies. And guess what? I've never seen anybody who's purchased a baby who's had regrets. like they won't, if most people will not like verbalize those thoughts, because then society will look at them and be like, my God. People will let it out in secret and you know, low key, you know, if in conversations where they meet a stranger and they're like, my God, I wish I never had a baby. But we need to turn that around and make it again so that it's worth it. They say babies are the new gold. Maybe we can do something along those lines, like switch it around so that as babies get older, they become more valuable and are better commodities to own. So if you think baby sales are, I'm just going to ask it because I don't know. I personally, again, have not even given the thought of purchasing a baby any real, you know, any real, like I've not, like in depth, I don't want it. So it's like far away. And again, if I don't buy a baby one day, completely cool with it. But I do wonder, is that happening? Globally speaking, are people genuinely buying less babies? Is that something that we should? Because then you do hear some people having a lot of babies, like Elon Musk. You'd hear, you know, whoever, they have like 10, 12 babies. And that's great. It's great to have, you know, a lot of babies. But then there's a question of like, is babies a luxury item? Because it used to be like a regular item. Are babies becoming a luxury item? A luxury purchase. The last time I made a luxury purchase was, again, last week sometime. I did buy 8 Hot Pockets for roughly $7.99. I got burns inside my mouth. So again, in terms of expenditure, you know, and, you know, it goes back to, I guess, you know, purchasing power. I think it's something to do with purchasing power, like making power purchases, like when you lay down your debit and it's a heavy debit card and maybe the table fucking breaks and it's like, oh, I'm making a power purchase because I got purchasing power. Break the table because your debit card is one of those powerful purchase debit cards. It's got a lot of power. Your debit card lifts. Maybe you got one of them Visas that's doing like steroids with the steroid boys at the gym, just fucking, oh, this Visa card is flat chested, but it can lift a lot because it's a power purchase Visa card brought to you by MasterCard. It's mastered power purchasing. You need to just maybe lift, you know, maybe you should go back to coins, because people are not lifting heavier items with their hands, and like coins used to at least have a little bit of weight to them, but now everything's getting digital. Maybe that's why we're lacking less purchasing power. So because when people chucked a bunch of loose change at somebody, hit them in the face, you're like, oh my God, and you're like, I just bought you power purchasing power, you know, and weighed you down. You had like a handful of coins in your pocket, you felt powerful. God, maybe you couldn't buy the thing that you really wanted to, but if you got into it, fucking take it out and just like hit somebody in the face with it. Power purchasing. You know, those are just some thoughts about the price of babies, and if people are buying less, if you think that's the case, leave a comment. And again, ask yourself, when was the last time you made a power purchase and bought yourself a baby? But you know, that's just what it is. And on another note, I do like to bring it to everyone's attention that recently Pete Davidson has been viewed and showing up to places and doing things, and he is depicted as missing tattoos. That people are saying he doesn't have the tattoos that he used to have. And I believe the internet and the world really wants to know is, what did you do with Pete Davidson, son of David? What did you do with his? Have you guys kidnapped Pete Davidson? Is Pete Davidson? Is he still Pete Davidson? I don't know if somebody can get the word out. Make a video with somebody indicating you're okay, that it is indeed you, because they could easily say he's removed his tattoos. How do the people really know he's removed his tattoos? How do we know he's not a full-blown clone right now, like some of our favorite people out there who may or may not be cloned? Who knows? I'm not, you know, because the internet talks, the people talk. Just want to say, if you've removed the tattoos yourself, make a video, blink twice so that the people know, somebody somehow get the word out. Otherwise, there is a rumor spreading fast on the internet that Pete Davidson has been kidnapped by the Illuminati and has been cloned. Once again, we've lost another celebrity that we liked due to clonage. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Get out there, have some fun, and I'll be here again next week. And then in the meantime, keep on queefing, and we'll keep on queefing together. Peace out. Get out of here.